When Mr. and Mrs. Goel packed their lives into a battered car and drove toward the hills of Nainital, it was not for a holiday. Mr. Goel had lost his corporate job in the big city, and their savings were running dry. With them were their two children, 14-year-old Pooja and 10-year-old Anuj. The children hated the move. The quiet pine hills felt empty. Their old friends were hundreds of miles away, and the silence of the new town only amplified their family struggles. Understanding their heartbreak, their parents tried their best to soften the blow. On weekends, they would take long drives along the forested mountain roads, stopping by small roadside stalls to treat the kids to steaming plates of Maggi noodles. On one of those quiet afternoons, while parked near a mountain brook, the children spotted an old abandoned wooden cabin hidden behind the trees. Pooja wandered into what looked like an overgrown backyard. There, amidst weeds and wild grass, sat a tiny, neglected sapling with distinct heart-shaped leaves. Pooja had never cared for plants, but in that quiet ruin, she felt an inexplicable pull toward it. Afraid her parents would scold her for taking something from an abandoned property, she slipped the sapling into her bag. Back home, Pooja came up with a harmless excuse. The next afternoon, she brought the plant to her mother, claiming her schoolteacher had gifted it to her. Delighted, her parents helped her plant it in the center of their modest garden. The very next morning, something extraordinary happened. Out of nowhere, Mr. Goel received a phone call from a former employer offering him a high-paying consultancy contract. That same afternoon, Mrs. Goel, who baked from home, received her first bulk catering order. Within days, Pooja and Anuj made close friends at school. As the sapling took root and began to bloom, a sudden wave of prosperity swept through the household. No one spoke the thought aloud, but in their hearts, the family began to believe the plant was their guardian. Every morning, Pooja and Anuj watered its soil. Mr. Goel carefully pulled away the weeds around its base, while Mrs. Goel brought home specialized nutrients after every delivery. The little tree became the quiet anchor of their home. Within a few years, the sapling had grown into a majestic flowering tree. Along with it, the family's fortunes surged. Mr. Goel's small consultancy expanded into a company with dozens of employees. Mrs. Goel became the owner of the town's most celebrated bakery. Anuj excelled academically, while Pooja discovered her passion for visual storytelling, setting her sights on film school. The old, rattling car was replaced with luxury sedans. Yet, as life grew louder, their time with the tree grew quieter. Pooja was constantly away on shoots. Her parents worked late into the night. Anuj spent his evenings isolated behind gaming screens. Days would pass without anyone stepping into the garden to touch the bark that had once listened to their hopes. During those months, a strange detail went completely unnoticed. On the weeks the family was too consumed by work to step into the courtyard, the tree's vibrant leaves would subtly droop, its flowers refusing to open. But on the rare evening, someone sat beneath its shade. It would blossom overnight. It wasn't asking for water or soil, it was asking for them. But in their rush toward success, no one had the time to notice. Then came the dinner when Mr. Goel made an announcement. He had bought a sprawling luxury estate on the other side of town. The family cheered, eager to pack their bags. But beneath the excitement lay a silent, lingering dread. Each of them wondered, what if our luck leaves us the moment we leave the tree behind? Yet, nobody gave voice to the fear. To acknowledge it felt superstitious, and since their wealth had continued to multiply even as they neglected the tree, they convinced themselves it was foolish to worry. They moved into the mansion. The first night was uneasy, but when morning brought the news that Mr. Goel's firm had won a massive international contract, the last trace of guilt vanished. They stepped forward into a world of endless ambition, leaving the modest cottage and its garden far behind. Years slipped by. Pooja became an acclaimed filmmaker. Anuj secured an executive role at a global firm. Mrs. Goel judged prestigious culinary shows, and Mr. Goel moved in the highest social circles. Eventually, Mr. Goel sold the old cottage. Nothing went wrong for the Goel family. Their bank accounts stayed full, and they continued to chase their dreams, falling in love with newer, fleeting pleasures. But back at the forgotten cottage, the new owner brought in chainsaws to clear the plot. The flowering tree, the silent companion that had stood with them when they had nothing and gave everything it had while they learned to fly, was cut down to the stump, loaded onto a truck, and forgotten forever. If this story stayed with you, please like, share, and subscribe. A new story arrives every Sunday. I'll see you then.